Let's take a look at sports now. Here's Olumide Macaulay. Olumide.
Thank you, Gemma. Welcome to Sports News, and we start with tennis. The International Table Tennis Federation, ITTF, have released the official prospectus for the 2014 Lagos World Tour holding in June. The Lagos World Tour, tagged Nigeria Open, is one of the challenge series listed by ITTF on its 2014 calendar. In football, Brazilian striker Lima scored in the 84th minute as newly crowned Portuguese league champions Benfica defeated Juventus 2-1 to hold a first-leg advantage in the UEFA Europa League semi-final. Argentine Ezequiel Garay had put Benfica in the second minute ahead, but his compatriot Carlos Tevez equalized for the Italian giants before Lima's goal separated both sides. The Nigerian National League, the NNL, have suspended 3 players of Remo Stars for the rest of the season. The players are Henshaw Blessing, Victor Mbama, and Adebanjo Jacob. And Nigeria's Golden Eaglets will face Benin in a competitive match for the first time in 6 years at the semi-finals of the WAFU tournament in Togo on Friday. The last time these two teams met was in 2009 when the Little Squirrels eliminated the Golden Eaglets from the qualifiers of the 2009 African Cadet Championships. And that's it on Sports News. The News at 10 continues just now.
Thanks, Olumide. And as Nigeria continues to lead the United Nations Security Council meeting for the month of April, the president of the UN Security Meeting, Professor Joy Ogu, mediated on the United Nations peace mission in Mali. Delegates agreed that finding an enduring solution to the crisis in the region is urgently needed.
The massacre in Syria and to speed up the removal of chemical weapons from Syria, finding an enduring solution to the crisis in Mali formed the basis of extensive consultations at the United Nations Security Council.
They recalled their resolution 2100 of 2013 and in this regard called upon the Malian government and the signatory and adherent armed groups of the agreement of 18th of June 2013 and those armed groups in the north of Mali that have cut off all ties with terrorist organizations and committed unconditionally to the agreement to urgently agree a roadmap for an inclusive and credible negotiation process open to all communities of the north of Mali.
Obviously, emotions are at its very height if signals from our questions and answer session with the Syrian ambassador was anything to go by.
We asked them at that time to investigate whether a chemical attack took place in Khan al-Asal or not. B, who did it? They made huge pressure on the Secretary General at that day. These guys, the polite and kind guys, made huge pressure on the Secretary General to agree on the fact that the UN should investigate whether the chemical attack took place or not in Khan al-Asal, but they apologized.
While the Security Council has expressed great optimism that it could find a lasting solution to the Syrian crisis, the body language, the hardline status, and the countenance of the Syrian ambassador could only mean it could be easier said than done. From the United Nations headquarters, New York, Benga Ashiru, reporting for Channels Television News.
Well, the former Nigerian President Olusegun Obasanjo is leading the African Union Commission of Inquiry on South Sudan on a 10-day mission to the country amidst renewed violence in parts of that region. The commission would hold consultations with President Salva Kiir and other top government officials, including the Speaker of Parliament and key stakeholders in South Sudan. Well, staying with that country now, the President Salva Kiir has sacked the head of the army. A decree read out on state television announced that General James Mai would be removed with immediate effect, but no reason was given. Well, that country has been in turmoil since December. Last week, rebels seized the oil hub of Bentiu. And the main news again. The expanded Security Council meeting with President Goodluck Jonathan held in Abuja today, with the service chiefs and most governors in attendance. It was resolved that backing will be given to the military to search for the schoolgirls who were abducted in Borno State. The Fulani herdsmen were asked not to go beyond grazing areas in the north, and everyone was advised to see security as the business of all. Well, that's the news at 10 tonight. Thanks so much for staying with us. Focus on Africa is up next. I'm Ijoma Hunyato. Good night.